It's that time of year we start talking about gathering school supplies, prepping those first day outfits, packing lunches again. Something to add to the list, making sure your shots are up to date. Nurse Jake Kmasov is back to walk us through the medical side of back to school. Great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me again this morning.
So why would you say, first of all, vaccines are important for school?
Yeah, history and research shows us that vaccines are the most safe and effective way to keep our communities healthy and help to prevent the spread of disease. And oftentimes our kids are most at risk during the school year because they're in closed quarters, they're indoors through the fall and the winter, and they're in close proximity to each other. And then finally, our school boards mandate. Most provinces and territories have immunization acts that require our students to be immunized, have their vaccines up to date, or at least provide some sort of proof of exemption if you have an allergy or a reason that you can't have it.
Well, and just like organizational speaking, like in terms of getting your year and your life organized, the school year is a great time to just go through everything and be like, what do we need to do?
Yeah, you're getting organized with everything else, and you're so used to just September being that time of year to get it back in order, so why not also your health?
Okay, so let's go through kind of by age range, because there's a lot to cover. It can feel almost like information overload.
Yeah.
So we'll start first with our little people. We'll start with the youngest group, ages 4 to 6. What do they need?
Yeah, so in grade 4, you're gonna need to get an update on your boosters, okay? So there's 2 vaccines that you're gonna get. There are 2 combo boosters. So the first one is you're gonna get tetanus, diphtheria, pertussis, which is whooping cough, and polio, and that's a 4-in-1. And then the second one is you're gonna have measles, mumps, rubella, and varicella, which is chickenpox. And again, those are combos, so it's just 2 pricks.
Man, I just love that there's a varicella one now. Like, I remember when I was a kid and we just all had to get chickenpox.
Everyone got chickenpox,
yeah, not anymore. Moving on to the recommendations for the next group, which is for grade 7.
Yeah, so when you're around the age of 12 years old, you're gonna need 3 shots. So the first is meningococcal conjugate, and this helps against meningitis. You're also gonna need hepatitis B, which impacts our liver. And then you're gonna need the human papillovirus, which is HPV and has been linked to several types of cancers.
And finally, the older teenagers in the 14 to 16-year-old category, what are we looking at for here?
Yeah, so you just need 1 more booster at that age. It's a 3-in-1 vaccine, and that one is gonna give you your tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis. So they take the varicella out of that one.
Nurse Jake, what would you say for families and for students who are listening who are prepping for those vaccines? It can be a tough conversation for a lot of families.
Yeah.
I know my kids in particular get really scared when we say, hey, you need to have a needle, whether it's their vaccines or it's even like the flu shot in the fall. What do you say to those people listening?
Yeah, so as a healthcare professional, we always recommend for public, our patients, our communities to do their own research. So go online, do your research, but more importantly, speak to your primary healthcare provider, have a conversation in terms of what's needed for your child, and they know your child's health history best in terms of if there's any contraindications or reasons why they shouldn't be getting it. But once you have that kind of stamp of approval and you've had that conversation, the next step is really to review the consent documents. A lot of schools have school-based immunization clinics. So as a parent, you'll need to have that paperwork filled out, signed and completed to take for your child to take with them to school, and then they can get their shots. If they're getting their shots through their family doctor or nurse practitioner, then make sure you have the paperwork, because again, you'll have to provide that proof to the school board that they've had their immunizations.
What do you think is the best way to calm any fears that someone might have leading into these vaccines? Like, especially if you're a kid.
Yeah, good question. So oftentimes it's just the needle itself. So we say a lot of distraction techniques, you know, sometimes bribing, giving them candy or some sort of reward for going to do it. And again, just research. Information is power. The more information you know in terms of what these are used for, what the benefits are, what the studies have shown, then it's going to calm your anxiety.
Okay, Nurse Jake, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Hard to believe we're talking back to school.
I know,
but
already.
I know. Middle of August. I mean,
your kids are already back in school.
They are week 2, and I'll tell you, they're already sick.
Yeah.
So there you go. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.